morning, good morning. It's June 18th. I want to welcome everybody to today's committee hearing. Looks like we have a very sleepy crowd, Mr. City Attorney, today. But before we start today's meeting, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence. There was a serious murder occurred last night, and the Boston Celtics murdered the Los Angeles Lakers, and it's just a terrible, terrible thing. So, well, that was moment of silence was long enough. So let's get started. We do not have a quorum, so we'll begin the meeting. Every action we take up to this point will be a communique from the chair. Do we have any cards from the public, Mr. Clerk?
No, sir, we don't.
Okay, well then let's rock and roll. Ms. Barclay, we have several items that we'll just move quickly, 1 through 6. Why don't you begin with item 1? Why do we have the mayor's office here?
I'm here to cause trouble.
Okay, throw him out.
He's good at that.
He said he's here to cause trouble, and we have to let him know that I cock-a-doodle-doo around here, so let's just get him by the back of the neck and throw him out. Anyway, good morning. It's good to see you. Item 1.
Good morning, Meg Barkley with the CLA's office. Item 1 is a report from the Community Redevelopment Agency and the Chief Legislative Analyst relative to acquisition loan agreement with Patalos Niños to purchase a property located at 5054 South Vermont Avenue.
Okay, then as a communique from the chair, we'll adopt the CLA report. That brings us to item number 2.
Item 2 is a report from the CRA and the City Administrative Officer relative to a conditional grant agreement with the California Community Foundation for the continued implementation of the Westlake Neighborhood Network.
Okay, we'll adopt the CAO report as a communique from the chair. Item 3.
Item 3 are reports from the CRA and the CLA relative to execution of a subordinated permanent loan agreement with MacArthur Park Metro.
Okay, then on item 3, we'll adopt the CLA report, again as a communique from the chair. That brings us to item 4.
Item 4 is a motion Rosendahl Smith relative to withholding Fire Station 5 from sale and providing an analysis of the potential for the development of affordable housing on the site.
Okay, then we'll concur in the recommendations of the ITGS committee as a communique from the chair. Item 5.
Item 5 is a motion Rosendahl Smith relative to withholding the West Los Angeles Animal Shelter from sale and providing analysis for the potential of the development of affordable housing on the site.
Again, we'll concur in the recommendations of the ITGS committee. Item 6.
And item 6 is a motion Rosendahl Smith relative to withholding Fire Station 62 from sale.
Okay, then we'll concur in those recommendations as well as a communique from the chair. Without objection, all of those items have been deemed approved. So that brings us to special agenda.
No.
Does it? Where are we now?
There's one item remains on the regular agenda.
I don't see it. Okay, I don't see item 7. Oh, there it is. It seems like item 7 should have came before this special agenda. Okay, let's deal with item 7. If you can read it, and the individuals that are here to discuss it, if they can begin to make their way forward. So item 7.
Item 7 is a report from the Los Angeles Housing Department relative to a proposed ballot measure for the November 4th general election on the City of Los Angeles's Article 34 authority.
Good morning, my friend, and welcome.
Good morning, Councilman Wesson. How are you?
Okay, do you want me to give you a Kleenex to wipe the tear?
Yeah,
Because of the
really.
Lakers?
It's a tough day.
God, the game was gone before the second quarter.
It's a sad loss for the city.
Yeah, yeah.
So, good morning. Wanted to give you sort of a little bit of a background on a somewhat esoteric issue, but nevertheless one that we really have to deal with in rapid fashion. Article 34 was added to the state's constitution in 1950. Basically, what it calls for is that any quote-unquote low rent, or translation affordable housing that's developed throughout the state must be approved by the voters of that particular locality in which it would be located in. And basically, what they define as low rent is any publicly financed affordable housing that serves people below 80% of AMI. So the key thing is, though, while that is a sort of scary proposition that every single affordable housing project would have to go to the voters, there are some key exceptions to the law which provide that rehabilitation projects, those that may also serve for sale housing, et cetera, there are some exceptions in there. So by the time you read through all the exceptions, what it essentially means is that any new construction affordable housing developments publicly financed that have more than 50% of their units serving affordable levels must go to the voters. And basically what localities typically do is periodically they go out and to the voters with propositions to give that city a certain amount of Article 34 authority, sort of defining a set limit that they would permit as new affordable housing in their communities. So the key thing is that the way Los Angeles has traditionally dealt with it is we passed, between 1973 and 1980, there were 5 propositions that were passed, most of them related to allowing for certain measures of senior and special needs types of housing. What we've done for family housing and for supportive housing and other types of housing is that the city, and specifically the LAHD, only restricts 49% of the units in a given development to affordable, and then counts on the other leveraging sources to then restrict the other 51% of housing in those developments. So thereby we're able to get 100% affordability on these affordable deals, but at the same time without triggering Article 34 authority.
So what would you like us to do?
The thing we need to do is basically amend those 5 propositions that have been passed before. Those propositions gave us 52,500 units worth of authority. Only approximately 4,000 of it has actually been used. And what we think can be the best way to tackle this issue, and particularly because the state restricts 100%, so they're really the ones that are pushing this issue for us.
Okay, then let's amend it. Let's do that.
Sounds good to me.
Check with my colleagues. I see no objections. I think that what we will do, we'll adopt the Housing Department's report and instruct the CLA to meet with LAHD and HECLA, and then I guess this is then sent to rules, and so let's do that.
Yes, sir.
So let it be written.
So let it be done.
All right, we're rolling here. Now it is 8:45. We can go to the special agenda. Is that okay, Mr. City Attorney? Would you?
Yes, just I guess adjourn the regular meeting and go to the special.
Okay, so are there any other items on the regular agenda?
No, sir.
Okay, so without objection, we will, that hearing is over, adjourned, and we will now open up the special agenda. If you would read I think we have one item?
One item, sir.
Okay.
It's a report from the Community Development Department and the CAO relative to adopting the proposed mitigated negative declaration for the Lansett Industrial Site project.
Okay. Do we have anyone here that wants to discuss this item? Come on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Raya Delaraj from CDD. Today we request that you approve the mitigated negative declaration that was done on the Lansett project. That declaration was finished or done by HDR on February 2008. We need that to be so we can start doing the NEPA requirement, so we can sell the Lansett site to our developer, which is 7th Street Development, so they can start the construction and generating the jobs and creating all the tax revenues for the city. Also, we ask that if we can transfer $3,000 from the Public Works Trust Fund to pay for the county fees and the other fees associated with recording the declaration.
Good, fine. Seeing no opposition, let's adopt this CAO report as a communique from the chair, and I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any more business, Ms. Barclay, before this committee?
No, sir.
In this committee